Good morning, happy Monday. I hope you're good. This week, to help you, I want to tell you a story called The Old Man and the White Horse. You may have heard it before, and if not, or either way, it's really a good story to help us all in terms of flowing with life, with the challenges it can bring. So, this is a story about an old man who owned a beautiful white horse. And this horse was highly coveted in the village. He lived in a small village. He was a poor old man. And the villagers all looked upon this horse with great envy. And apparently, even the king coveted this beautiful, majestic animal. Everybody said to him in the village, "Why don't you sell this horse? You could change your fortune and become very wealthy." And the old man always said the same thing. He said that the horse was like a friend to him and he would not sell a friend. So the answer was no. One day, the old man went to the stable where the horse lived, and the stable was empty. All of the villagers came and said, "Oh, you have been cursed. This is terrible. Your horse has been stolen. We told you you should have sold this horse when you had the opportunity." The old man simply responded by saying, "We don't know what happened," he said. "We just have to wait and see. I cannot say if it is a curse or a blessing." The villagers really thought he was absolutely a fool at this stage to have missed the opportunity to sell the horse and now to be left with nothing. However, a few days later, the beautiful white horse returned. But he did not return alone. He came with 12 wild horses. So now, all of a sudden, the old man had his horse, but also 12 more horses in which he could train and break to become valuable commodities. So his only son, the old man had a son, just one son, and this young man started to train and break in the horses. And while he was doing this, unfortunately, the son had an accident and he broke both of his legs. So all of the villagers came and they said, "Oh, we thought you were blessed, but now we can see you have been cursed again. You have no son to look after you. You are old. You are alone." And the old man simply responded and said, "We don't know," he said, "what the future will hold. Let's just wait and see. We cannot say if it is a curse or a blessing." A few weeks later, the country that the old man lived in was going to war, and all of the young men in the village were called to go and fight. But because that his son had broken his legs, he was not in a position to be called for duty. So all of the villagers came and they said, "Oh, you are blessed. All of our sons are going to war. We will never see them again. You are blessed. We are cursed." And again, you can imagine what the old man said. He simply responded and said, "Wait and see. We cannot say. All we know is that my son has not been called to war." So essentially, you can see the sort of ups and downs in that story. And you can look at it in terms of your own life and how sometimes when you reflect back, you can see something that you thought was a great misfortune at the time has actually transpired to be something that was quite beneficial. Maybe it's a house you wanted to buy and then it fell through. Maybe you were going to live in a different country and you didn't. Whatever it might be, I think it's just very, very useful to keep ourselves firmly rooted in the facts of life rather than being caught up with what may or may not happen. And what if is really one of the most sort of potent questions that people have who suffer from anxiety. What if this happens? What if that happens? Always trying to predict the future and somehow maybe control it so that it isn't as frightening. So if you do hear yourself saying, "What if this?" or "What if that?" I want you to, as much as you can, just bring yourself back to now. We don't know what is going to happen, but we do know that when we cultivate a calmness, when we become the old wise man, where we just take that sort of space and stance back from life's inevitable waves, we are in a much stronger position to deal with them and to build really good, strong emotional resilience. So listen, thank you for watching this. Thank you for listening. If you found this story helpful, please do share it with somebody who you think it could benefit, and have a wonderful week. Let's keep lighting up 2022.